Hey guys, this is VitruvianPhysique. Welcome back to my channel. We are 80 days out, so you know what that means. Buckle the fuck up and let's get into 20 minutes of me making ugly faces and lifting semi-naked on camera. First things first, I want to throw up some footage on screen right now. This is actually from my most recent chest workout. I kind of actually wanted to include this to be a little bit more transparent and honest about where my physique is right now. We all know that if all you guys see in this video is that edit, those are great, but they're not always exactly what you look on, like, you know, in real life, whether it be due to the angles or the lighting. Like, a lot of this stuff is going to make you seem a little bit more awesome than you actually are in real life. And this way you guys can get a much more realistic and raw footage visualization of what my physique looks like at the moment, in terms of not just like strength and size, but most importantly, in terms of body fat levels. But jumping on, on that note, this right here, what you guys are seeing on screen, is actually from my most recent Instagram post. And then here's me, 1 week into the competition prep. Here's me 2 weeks in, looking a little bit better. Finally, that six pack is making its much anticipated return. And I also really added like a lot of these numbers, and a lot of the comments I got on that Instagram was like, Igor, this is awesome, this looks cool, but what the fuck does this all mean? And there's a few things I wanted to talk about in regards to that. Buckle the fuck up. We're really about to dive into our favorite Microsoft Excel. And on that note, this brings me to kind of what I want to talk about in today's video, which I'm going to call, like I have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, in my case, it's going to be just the good and the bad, and more bad, and more good. What you guys are seeing on screen right now, this is essentially the first 2 weeks of my competition prep. These are all the stats that I keep involving my body. And by the way, guys, trust me, I hear some of you guys out there thinking like, damn, Igor, 3 minutes into the video and already breaking out the Microsoft Excel. I mean, come on, that's gotta be a record. And to those of you guys, I say, ho, you're goddamn right. But the thing I want you guys to see right here is that my most recent weigh-in, which is actually a low weigh-in, hence the green, was 185.6 pounds. And even then, I just broke into that. I was as high as 186, even 188 just a few days ago. And this is what brings me into the first kind of not problem or bad news, but kind of concerning news, you might say. This right here is my old data. And so if you actually look at where I'm right now, around 79 technically days out, and you compare it to where I was in 2017 at 182, and then 2016 is actually a little bit behind schedule. In 2016, I was 187, although I went down to 185 the next day, so not that bad. And in 2015, how in my previous video, I kind of talked about how 2015 being such a good competition prep, I think I looked the leanest that I ever have in my life. I was 182, going as low as 181 the next day at give or take 79, 78 days out. This, guys, it's a little concerning because essentially it's saying, hey, you're kind of like 5 pounds behind schedule, at least compared to where you were in the past. But fortunately, there is definitely a very big silver lining. And no, I don't know if I'm using that phrase correctly, but fuck it, I'm rolling with it. My weight loss, as you guys can see right here, guys, this diet, I don't know what the hell is going on so far. I'm only like 2-ish weeks in. And I know, we're very early into this process overall. It's too early to start making predictions as to where I am or how it's going overall. Holy shit. I mean, you can even see in the most recent Instagram, the post that I was kind of talking about, where I literally, you can even see from 1 week in to 2 weeks in, you can actually see a visual change. Not huge, but a bit of a visual change, especially in my abdominal area. My six pack went from kind of there to actually pretty visible. This is why I decided to do this new diet, even though it's a little bit of risk and it's a little bit of, it's something I'm not used to. Maybe it's actually working, and that's pretty damn exciting. But now we're moving back on to more. We went from bad to good. Now we're kind of back to bad, because if the diet's working, I can definitely see it. But to be honest, I can kind of feel it. And let me give you an example of that. What you guys are seeing on screen right now, this is me in mid-competition. This is kind of like mid-2017. Again, 2017 was a fucked up year because I was in Australia, then I was back. And essentially, even though I did look pretty damn good on stage when I finally competed, it took me 9 months to get there. It was all over the place. But that being said, one thing which was awesome is for my body weight, I was fucking strong. This was actually the first time that I ever did 2 plates on the incline bench, not just for a few reps, but for a full 3 sets of 8. I mean, a real working weight with 2 plates, or technically I think because Australia, the weights are a little different. It's 221, 222, but fuck it, close enough. Most recently, in the workout footage you guys just saw, the most recent footage just from a few days ago, I tried this again with 2 plates. It didn't go that well. Even though I'm technically a little bit higher in body weight by just a few pounds, I got 7 reps on the first set And then I got like, it was like 5-5-4 for the second, third, and fourth set. What's annoying is not only is this weaker than I was in 2017, this is weaker than I was just 2 or 3 weeks ago. I remember doing this, and I did it successfully for 3 sets of 8. And I know it's early to tell. I just kind of got into this diet, so maybe I'm jumping into conclusions. Maybe I just had a bad day, low sleep, but the pumps are definitely not as good as they were just 2 weeks ago. The strength, like, I feel like I gas out in my workouts very quickly. Like, within 20 minutes, I'm already like, all right, let's wrap it up. The energy is starting to go, and the strength, it seems like the strength is starting to go with it. And this isn't just based on my personal experience or anecdotal evidence. There is considerable scientific evidence of this in the past as well. It is somewhat generally accepted that lower carbohydrate diets, they do take a bit of a bigger hit onto your overall performance, in terms of athletic ability and especially power and strength, than diets were lower. You aren't lowering your carbohydrates, despite, in this case, assuming equal actual calorie intake. It's happened in the past for me. I've talked about this in previous videos, but this time around, maybe the speed at which it hit me, 2 weeks to just lose like pretty much half the reps, go from doing 3 sets of 8 to like barely hitting like 4 or 5 reps on the same exercise. Again, maybe it's just a bad day. I'll try again next week and see if, maybe just a fluke, but shit. Maybe, that faster rate of fat loss, the fastest fat loss I've ever experienced, maybe it came at a bit of a price. And that's a little bit concerning, I do have to say. But the last thing I want to mention, this maybe is a little bit of retribution, is that if you actually look right here, this is actually one of the charts that I keep for this contest prep. This kind of like line right here, this blue, is simply put my weight. The weight is just kind of like my overall trajectory. As you can see, very good, nice in, downward. But this number right here, this is where, again, guys, this is how we're going to finish it off. We had the good, the bad, the more bad, and we're going to finish off with the good, because this is the best dietary adherence I've had in like a real competition prep, not just like a little mini diet, but like actually like this is pretty fucking good. I gotta be honest. The orange number, what you guys are seeing, is my calorie intake. As you can kind of see right here. And this red line is 2,500 calories. This green line is 2,100 calories. My current calorie target is essentially around 2,200. If I kind of bounce around, 21, 23, even 24, it's not the end of the world. I want to stay kind of in this range. In the last 2 weeks, I've only gone outside of that range twice, and both times it was a grand spankin', in this case, 27.96 and 27.88, which is barely even that much. In the past, I was going outside of the spectrum, outside of this boundary pretty much every few days. It'd be like 3 or 4 days of dieting, and then I'd bounce out. And lots of times when I would bounce out, it wasn't like, oh, you overate, outside of your target range by 200 or 300. It was like, boom, 3,000 calories of fucking pizza because I'm having these crazy, I don't know, like sugar carb cravings, and I would just go insane. That's why if you actually look at the overall stats, I also track my daily calorie intake. And then over here we have a 7-day average. This one came out to 22.28. The week afterwards, this most recent week, was 22.21. To be essentially like 20 calories on average above my target calorie range, essentially like almost perfect dietary adherence with multiple days as low as 2,000 for a guy my size, is insane. I've never been able to do that. And I think a big factor might be due to this kind of like this new dietary strategy with overall like less emphasis on refined carbohydrates, trying to minimize my sugar intake, not zero, but definitely minimize it compared to where it's been in previous years, to less than half of where it's been in previous years, really relying on strict intermittent fasting every day until pretty much like essentially 3 p.m. at minimum. And it's making the adherence factor at least a lot easier. And I think that's another factor which might be inhibiting my strength a little bit, because maybe in previous years, the only reason I kept my strength was because I fucking cheated on my diet so much. If I'm just putting 3,000 calories worth of cheating and falling off my diet and all these things, essentially it's like I'm taking 3 steps forward, 1 step back. You'll get to your destination, but as in previous years, like in 2017 and definitely in 2015, it definitely took a damn long time to get there. And maybe that's one of the reasons why I was able to maintain my strength a little more. Not because I'm doing some magic superior diet, but because I'm simply falling off my diet and putting more carbs into my system. So that makes me feel a little bit better. Maybe even though my strength is taking a little bit, like a bit of a hit more than it has in the past, I gotta be honest, in my personal opinion, knowing my body pretty damn well, as you guys can tell by these 7,000 pages of Excel numbers, this is the best dietary adherence I've had in a long a long time. And actually the last thing I want to kind of show you, I actually found this footage, and this was like buried on my old phone. This is from 2016. This is actually from the week after I competed. So essentially it's like the best I've ever looked. And I was looking at this and I was like, holy crap. I mean, like, look, there are guys who are better than me. There are guys who are worse than me. And at this moment, I don't really care. I just know that this is pretty much almost like my goal physique. And I want to get down to this, but maybe look like, if I could even look like 1% better than this, I'll be happy. Just to find this was awesome, and this is really helping to keep me motivated. And even though that might lead to the fastest weight loss I've ever had, the best dietary adherence I've ever had, and with it perhaps a little bit more strength loss than I am used to, I don't care. That's a necessary sacrifice. Maybe I won't be the jackedest, strongest guy, but if I can be the leanest and, guy on stage, or just the leanest I have ever been for me, not even competing myself against other people, if I can just be the fucking best I ever have, if I can take this old version of me and kick his ass, not even by a lot, not by 50% or 200%, just 1%, just a little bit better, a little bit 2 pounds leaner, 1 pound bigger, just a little bit better, I will be happy, because that's what natural bodybuilding is. You're not going to make leaps and bounds. It's literally like you build the statue and then you spend 20 fucking years perfecting it, taking it from like 98% to 99% to 99.5 to 99.8% of what your ideal physique is. But, if I've done this once before, I think I can do it again. And I think I can get even a little bit better. And I'm sure anybody watching this, you can too. I fucking guarantee it. And I want to leave you guys with just one more thing, because this might be the most important thing in this video. Get ready, because my dog just celebrated her 2nd-year birthday. So let's look at some really cute shit she did the other day. Come on, guys. Look, holy crap, please. I know this is kind of lame. Everyone says their dog is the cutest, but they're like, oh, okay, fine. But in my case, I fucking mean it. Either way, guys, on that note, I think it's a good place to end it, especially because after 40 minutes of me yelling into this microphone, I am losing my voice. As always, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you, for watching, commenting, subscribing, whatever you do. Know that I do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in that next video.